Your brain can't tell the difference between TikTok and cocaine. That's not a metaphor. Neuroscientists at Stanford found that short-form video triggers the same dopamine pathways as addictive substance, the same circuit, the same chemical signature. So if studying feels impossible, that's not laziness. That's neuroscience working against you. But here's what nobody tells you. Those same circuits can be retrained. Let's set the scene. You sit down to study. You open your notes. 30 seconds later, you're on your phone and you don't even remember picking it up. That's not a willpower failure. That's your brain doing exactly what it was trained to do. Here's the mechanism. Every time you scroll and hit something funny or shocking, your brain releases a small burst of dopamine. That's your reward signal. It says, do that again. Over months, sometimes years of scrolling, your brain physically rewires itself. It builds stronger pathways toward low-effort, high-stimulation behavior. Studying, by comparison, is slow. It's hard. The rewards are delayed by days or weeks. So your brain looks at a textbook and says, why would I bother? That's the problem, and understanding it is the first step to fixing it. Here's where it gets slightly dark. Researchers call the modern attention economy a dopamine trap. Apps are designed, deliberately, to exploit your reward system. Every notification, every like, every autoplay video is an engineered hit. The result, your baseline dopamine level drops. When you're constantly overstimulated, normal life starts to feel gray. Studying doesn't just feel boring, it feels almost physically painful. Your brain has been recalibrated to a higher threshold. This is called dopamine desensitization, and it's more common than most people realize. But here's the part they leave out of the scary headline. The brain is plastic. It rewires in both directions. The concept is called neuroplasticity. Your brain changes based on what you repeatedly do. That's not self-help language, that's established neuroscience. Dr. Andrew Huberman from Stanford describes it this way. Dopamine isn't just released after a reward. It's released in anticipation of one. That distinction matters enormously. So the goal isn't to eliminate your reward system. It's to attach that anticipation signal to studying. How? Through a process called reward stacking. Here's how it works in practice. Before you open your notes, you do something that gently raises your dopamine, not spikes it. A short walk, cold water on your face, a song you love but don't overplay. Then you study. Immediately after, over time, your brain starts linking the elevated state to the act of studying. The anticipation begins to transfer. It sounds simple. It took me 3 weeks before I noticed anything, but the change, when it came, was real. I'll tell you exactly what that change felt like. But first, there's a step most people skip entirely before you can build a new habit. You have to lower the old signal. Most people try to study while their phone sits next to them. That's like trying to quit sugar with a candy bowl on your desk. The presence of the phone, even silent, even face down, reduces cognitive performance by up to 20%, according to a 2017 study from the University of Texas at Austin. 20%. Just from proximity. So the first real intervention is environmental, not psychological. Get the phone out of the room, not on silent, not in your bag, out of the room. This single change is uncomfortable for about 4 days. Then it becomes normal, and in that discomfort is the signal that rewiring has started. Now, that change I promised to describe. About 3 weeks in, something shifted. I sat down to study and didn't reach for my phone. Not because I resisted, I just didn't want to. That's the moment. That's what rewired feels like. Not discipline, not gritting your teeth. The wanting changes. Neuroscientists call this a shift in motivational salient. The brain starts assigning value differently. What used to feel like a chore starts to carry a low hum of anticipation. It's not the same as addiction. It's almost the opposite, a quieter, calmer pull, a preference, not a compulsion. And it's available to anyone willing to be uncomfortable for about 3 weeks. 3 weeks. That's all the research suggests it takes to begin meaningfully shifting a dopamine pathway. So here's what this actually looks like as a system. Remove the phone from your study space. Raise your dopamine gently before you sit down. Study immediately after. Repeat daily for 3 weeks. That's it, that's the whole structure. Your brain built those scrolling pathways over months. It can build new ones too. Remember the hook, Your brain can't tell the difference between TikTok and cocaine. That's the threat. But it also can't tell the difference between scrolling and studying once it's been taught to value both. You're not fighting your brain, you're just giving it a new teacher. If this made you think differently about how your focus works, there's a video you should watch next. It covers how sleep directly controls your ability to form new habits at a neurological level. It connects directly to everything we talked about today. And if you want more of this, calm, science-backed breakdowns of how the brain actually works, subscribe. There's a new one every week.